a bit disappointing, but we just need to push hard in the race and we can still come away with something.
And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Now, can I get your take on Max Verstappen? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Weber, Vettel, Sergio Perez and Russell. Red, Leclerc, Albon and Kevin Magnussen. Verstappen, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Sainz, Kimi Raikkonen and Ricciardo. Butler, Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Robert Kubica. Norris and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Race officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available. Complete, go now. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. For the track, no overtaking through the yellow flags. Nice work, that brings you up a place. We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop. That's a disappointing result for sure, but we'll try to bounce back at the next one.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. So let's review the updated driver standings. This result narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
Interesting choice today, I think. There's a few to pick from, but I think I have to give it to Danny Kvyat. He put in a rock-solid performance today, one that he can be proud of.
The Constructors' Championship may be a foregone conclusion at the moment, but regardless, let's look at the standings. It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Meanwhile, good work from Racing Point this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
us further back than we'd like, but don't worry about it. Just means more fun for us tomorrow.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three: Leclerc, Vettel and Lucas Faber. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Now, can I talk to you about Sebastian Vettel? Looks like they've got a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and starting alongside is Lucas Faber. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Sainz, Russell, Red and Raikkonen, Gasly, Kvyat, Ricciardo and Sergio Perez, Butler, Vettel, Lewis Hamilton and Bottas, Verstappen, Magnussen, Lando Norris and Alexander Albon, Stroll and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
This heavy rain will last another 10 minutes before we see it transition over to light rain. Stop. Weber is behind. Go now. boss is in the pits. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. We're leading our teammate by 16.2 seconds. This engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop. On the gearbox. The team are trying everything they can think of, but they're not optimistic. Just keep at it, do your best. That's all we can ask. Tyres still looking good, Nick. Let's keep them that way for as long as we can. Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
And with that, another year of Formula One draws to a close, and the new World Drivers' Champion is declared. Another entry added to that prestigious list of the sport's most incredible drivers. Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
So, let's review the drivers' standings. This also means that there's no catching our leader anymore, and we crown a new World Drivers' Champion. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
It's got to be Valtteri Bottas, a commanding performance that I think had the audience's eyes glued to him for the majority of the race.
Nothing can challenge the leaders of the Constructors' Championship at this point, but it's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Sorry about that. Just wasn't our day.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three. Bottas, Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. So, let's briefly discuss Lewis Hamilton. They've had a fantastic campaign, it's been a wonderful year, and they come into this weekend's Grand Prix as a fully deserving champion.
It really is well deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that has been consistent and well managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz and Butler, Russell, Raikkonen, Verstappen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Daniel Kvyat, Red, Perez, Lance Stroll and Magnussen. Kubica, Norris, Pierre Gasly and Daniel Ricciardo. Weber and Alexander Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
The safety car conditions and cannot overtake. Return the position. Go now. Green flag. Pace, you're catching the car in front by a second per lap. few laps at least. Currently, the go. Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tires. Very strong season this year, very strong indeed. Well done, and thank you on behalf of the team for a fantastic effort.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Nice job this season. You've been performing well, and that's putting us in a strong negotiating position contract-wise. Plus, my 10%'s getting more valuable. So enjoy your break, and keep up the good work next year. Great work this weekend. It was fantastic to see you up on that podium. Our proposal has been accepted. The new contract will take effect from the next race weekend.